¿Qué onda, dudes? Episode 22 of my soccer/football podcast, coming to you after the two friendlies that Mexico had against Ecuador and Paraguay. So first, Ecuador, they had their starters. Chicharito was on the field. Hector Herrera, Andres Guardado. Memo Ochoa wasn't playing. It was Corona's time, so he was in the goal posts. And they didn't play too good. The defense was a little bit shaky. Diego Reyes had some good plays, but as a whole, they were looking a little bit shaky. There was some clear goals that Ecuador could have scored. Basically, Jesus Corona saved them on multiple occasions, one-on-one sort of situations where he blocked the shot excellently. There was a penalty against Mexico. Ecuador took the shot. Corona blocked it, so he was really the man of the match for the entire thing. Did really well. Chicharito scored an awesome golazo. He scored one off sort of a lost ball from Ecuador and dribbled it up a few from outside the box, shot it right to the right corner. Excellent shot. Pretty nice goal from Chicharito, and a good goal for him to take back to Madrid. Later on in the game, I think Raúl Jiménez might have got an opportunity, or it might have been in the Paraguay game. He got an opportunity to score. So it was a hard-fought game against Ecuador. The score could have been a lot different. They could have actually lost, but Mexico got the win. They were able to squeak by through some good goalkeeping, some shaky defense. Overall, I think the offense was a little bit good, but the defense was the worst part. Then later on, after that game, I guess Andres Guardado was going to have a baby, and Memo Ochoa was going to have a baby, so all of a sudden Memo Ochoa has to leave. He goes back to Spain, has his baby, I think, the day after the Paraguay game. So he went all the way for the trip, pretty much just to practice, not to play at all. And so there was some controversy, some drama coming up about whether he was upset, if everyone knew that he was going to have a baby and wasn't going to make the second game. Went out to start him in the first game, but Hernandez from Veracruz was able to play the second game. He got the start. He shut out Paraguay. It was a pretty good game overall. Paraguay wasn't nearly the competition Ecuador was. It was all the pretty much the second string for Mexico in this game. Some interesting players that I got to see were Jonah dos Santos, who played a really good game. There was a highlight of him dribbling through a bunch of players and making a pretty good pass to Chicharito for an opportunity. Overall, great game for him, so we're probably going to see a lot more of him soon, and hopefully in the, well, maybe not, because he's in Europe, so probably won't see him for the U.S. game. Raúl Jiménez and Eduardo Herrera were up front. They had some good opportunities. Medina, off of a set piece on Paraguay's side, crossed the pass, and an awesome, pretty leaping type of goal from Herrera. Got the first goal for Mexico, and the only goal, actually. They had other opportunities. Raúl Jiménez, I think, had an opportunity. Some other players had some good opportunities, but it ended 1-0 for Mexico against Paraguay. And that was a pretty good win. Overall, players that stood out, I think, were Jonathan dos Santos, and Herrera definitely was, with that goal, brought himself up into the ranks of competitors for either one of the cups coming up, the Copa America or the Gold Cup. So this team, it's been said that might be the base of the Copa America team. And speaking of the two cups this weekend, it was brought up that, well, Mexico always has to go for the Gold Cup because the Gold Cup is the ticket to Confederations Cup, which is near the World Cup and good preparation against high-level teams for the World Cup. On the other hand, the B team, or the lesser players, the domestic Mexican players, will be playing in the Copa America, which is high competition in South America, Brazil, Argentina, Ecuador, all of those teams. And Mexico's never won that, so the idea was, why don't Mexico take their best players to Copa America and just their lesser players to Gold Cup? They've already won the Gold Cup. If they don't win, and maybe they would, the U.S. being the biggest competition, maybe Costa Rica or Panama, they'll just miss the Confederation Cup. But if they have the opportunity to win the Copa America for the first time, that would be historic. They would beat either a Brazil or an Argentina in the final. Be a pretty big game, the first time they've ever done that. The bad part of it, the preparation in a Confederation Cup wouldn't be there, which is what happened last World Cup cycle. They didn't win the Gold Cup. They ended up missing the Confederations Cup. Or was that, maybe it was 2 cycles back. I think last cycle they did actually win and go to Confederation. So, anyway, I say, as much as I'd like for Mexico to win the Copa America, I think they got to stick with their best opportunity to go to Confederations Cup and get that level of competition in preparation for the World Cup. But, maybe it could be a gamble, a little change of things. Just go all out for the Copa America. 1 year, see if they can win it. Got pretty close with that the last team when Neri Castillo was on was called up. But we'll see what happens. What else was going on? Liga MX starts up. Conca Champions will start up. Things are getting back to normal, so we'll see. I think Chivas is playing Atlas in the Clásico Tapatío. And I think that's about it for today. Catch me on Twitter at Beto_ATX. Comments on this YouTube, whatever you want to do. And we'll check you guys later.